Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me Bho Rama Mamuddhara Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Ashraye Bhishta Siddhaye Arthato Pyadvayanandan Ati Tadvaita Bhanatah Guruna Radhya Vedanta Saram Vakshe Yathamati. Sometimes when you start after a 3-month break, you wonder from where you should start recapping. So first is, this text is Vedantasara. If you have already found your book, then we are on 117th verse. Before we begin anything, we should invoke Bhagwan's grace of Lord Ganesha. One of the name of Bhagwan Ganesha is Ganadhyaksha. Ganadhyaksha means he is the leader of different ganas. And one of the tendency of individuals is to stray apart, go here and there. And the leader is the one who brings everybody together, keeps them on track, tells them how to go towards the goal. And you see, whenever we get a break like this, summer break or something, how easy it is for us to go in different directions. Somebody was sharing with me, the live demonstration of Viparita Bhavana comes in summer. Viparita Bhavana means erroneous notions, right? So if you just pause our regular routine for a few months, our older tendencies, habits are waiting to come back in. So our prayer to Lord Ganesha is, Bhagwan, may you guide us and may you keep us on the right path of Swadhyaya and Seva. So we had completed the first 2 chapters of Vedantasara. So today we'll just recap the whole 2 chapters. Of course, I won't do verse by verse. It will be topic by topic, but you'll get a very good idea of what we have covered so far. Even if you are new, this is your first session, you don't have to worry. And if you have already gone through it and you have already revised it in summer, then also it will rehash the whole thing and you can connect the dots. The first chapter, the first 2 shlokas or first 2 verses are Mangalacharanam, which is a prayer to consciousness. This is one of the few Mangalacharanam where direct prayer is done to that Paramatma, and it is said, I seek refuge in that pure consciousness. The main topic of the entire first chapter, there are 3 actually. The first one is Pramana. Pramana means valid means of knowledge. That is the first topic. Second main topic is Anubandha chatushtaya. Anubandha chatushtaya. the 4 aspects of any text which will help me appreciate the topic more. Bandha means to bind. Anubandha means to bind me very well. Not bind with the word, bind with that subject. Anubandha chatushtaya. A very systematic way of analyzing, am I fit for this text, or is this text for me? What is the subject matter? How will this text actually give me what I'm looking for? And what is the final goal of studying this text? Okay, this is called as Anubandha chatushtaya. So what are the 4 Anubandha chatushtayas? Adhikari means the fit student for the text. The subject matter, which is vishaya. What are we going to study? We'll elaborate a little more, but these are just the names. Vishaya means the subject matter. Third one is Sambandha. How will this study of this text give me what I'm looking for? Why are we spending time studying? Why are we doing this satsang in the first place? And Prayojanam is the 4th one. But after doing everything, what should I see as a result? 4 things come under Anubandha chatushtaya. And major description was under adhikari portion. Okay, adhikari portion you had all different types of karmas that were elaborated, and then sadhana chatushtaya was elaborated. Okay, the thought flow is simple enough, right? First one was pramana, second one was anubandha chatushtaya, adhikari, vishaya, sambandha, prayojanam, and under adhikari we had sadhana chatushtaya and different karmas. The third one was Guru-upasatti. Such an adhikari who has understood the value of Vedanta in his life seeks this knowledge intensely. And when this desire comes, he does not spend time figuring out on his own. That maybe I'll just read a book. Maybe I will, try to read different authors and understand on my own. He seeks guidance, and he seeks authentic guidance. Now, what are the characteristics of such a student? And what is the lakshana, characteristic of the guru? That is elaborated in few shlokas. Okay, so pramana, anubandha chatushtaya, and Guru-upasatti. Like this, if we do titles, right, then we get a very good hold over the text. Then it is up to us. We can reflect more, we can read more, and every verse we can open up more. Okay, so now a little bit detail about each one. So 3rd and 4th verse spoke about pramana. Pramana, simple translation is valid means of knowledge. Any knowledge that has to take place, the most important part is what is the means by which that knowledge is coming to us. If that means itself is erroneous, knowledge gained is erroneous. For example, if I say, it is going to rain today. It is going to rain today. Now you will ask, how did you know? I say, because I feel so. I woke up in the morning, I feel that it might rain today. You see, your feeling is good, but that feeling is not pramana. It is not valid. It will not create knowledge in me. Because it can rain, it cannot rain, because my intuition is not the valid means for that particular knowledge. But if I say I've seen the weather forecast or some other authentic means is there, sometimes they are also not authentic, but let's not go there. So that is pramana. Everything needs a particular valid means of knowledge. Now I tell you that this is blue color, or this is orange. You say, how did you know? I heard it. You say, you don't have to hear it. Just look with your eyes. You will know the color of this thing. Use the right pramana to get right knowledge. Hearing about this color as orange is not valid means of knowledge for this, gaining this knowledge of color. I'm oversimplifying this. We spent around 13 classes just on Praman Vichara. But the main point is every knowledge has a specific valid means of knowledge. And that is called as Pramana. Now, if I ask, what is the nature of this world? What is the essential nature of world? What is nature of Bhagavan? What is my essential nature? And is there any relationship between the three of us? Little subtler question, right? Than color or weather or something. Why? Because I cannot use my sense organs to answer this question. Now, if somebody says, I have seen Bhagwan in his entirety. Darshan devotees have had, but through physical eyes, I have seen Bhagwan's entire form. If you find such a person, that person can tell us what is Bhagwan's nature. So Bhagwan's nature in essential form cannot be an object of our eyes, ears, and so on. Nature of this world is so vast. The moment we start studying any knowledge, we come to know how much more is there to learn. So who can come and tell us what is the nature of this world? What is the expanse of this world? But most importantly, what is its essential nature? Is it just name and form, or is there something deeper than that? Now, third one is, what is my nature? I'm used to myself as this body, knowing myself as this body who is born. This mind is there, which goes through different emotions and so on. Is that it? Or is there something more to my nature? Now, these questions, when somebody asks, the answer to this cannot be any other means of knowledge, any other worldly means of knowledge other than Vedanta. Vedanta is that which will talk about those things which are beyond sense organs. Very simple uniqueness of Vedanta. Sometimes when we seek answers in Vedanta, we should ask ourselves this question. Whatever I am seeking an answer to, can I know it by other means of knowledge? If yes, then Vedanta says that is not our department. If I have a question about technology, very good question. It will help also in my work. It will help to serve. It will help. But if that question is there, the main source of knowledge for that is not Vedanta. Why? Because Pratyaksha Pramana can tell me. Sense organs can tell me. On top of that, I can use my mind. I can use my intellect to think more about how to improve this technology and so on. So Vedanta says that is not our department. But if I have a quest for the nature of consciousness, if I have a quest for what is consciousness, what is my nature, that will never become an object of sense organs. If it cannot become an object of sense organ, how can it become an object of an instrument? Right? No matter how sophisticated that instrument is, if consciousness never becomes an object of our sense organs, how can it become an object of an instrument? Because instrument also, you have to validate the result through sense organs only. Right? So then our reverence for Vedanta should become deeper. It should become more and more. Because it is the only tool that I have to know myself. Once this pramana is understood, our handling of Vedanta will be in a very reverential way. Upanishad mantras will not remain words. Upanishad mantras will be, deshikas. Deshikas means that which gives direction in life. Whenever I need to seek something, I will go to Shastra, I will go to Upanishad and say, what is Bhagavad Gita saying? What is Upanishad saying about looking at this particular situation? That is why chanting is very helpful. Even if you chant Bhagavad Gita, few chapters every day, subtle reminders will keep coming. And in particular, if you have already studied certain chapters, then you can just do Parayanam. That pramana will become alive in the mind. Meanings also will open up more, and we can benefit more from that study. All of you are with me so far? Yes, see, now I can get some reactions also on the video. Good. So this is just about pramana, the first one. Second one is our Anubandha chatushtaya. Anubandha chatushtaya, that is the main topic of, second topic of the first chapter. And under Anubandha chatushtaya we had adhikari. Adhikari means who is the one who will come to Vedanta. And not only come to Vedanta, but also benefit from Vedanta. What all things are written here, we might not be able to abide in it 100%. Because whenever they write from like Uttama Adhikari standpoint, the best student. But at least we should appreciate this point, that coming to Vedanta is not an accident. Whatever reverence we have, whatever love we have for spirituality, it is not a random thing. There is a systematic journey that has gone before, either in this life or in past lives. That is the main theme of this Adhikari Prakaranam, that a student of Vedanta is made over a long period of time. It is not overnight. There is a journey that he has to go through. So why are we here in the first place? The best or the most safe answer is Bhagwan's grace. Punya karmas done in the past, they only bring us to Vedanta, and that is something we should never unsee. If it has brought us here, that grace only will sustain us. So lot of devotion and prayer should be that Bhagwan, just like you brought me here, please sustain me systematically and sincerely on this path. Now this is one point, why we are here, how we are brought here, Bhagwan's grace, punya karmas. Second one is, there is an inherent desire in each and every one of us to be a better person. Think about it. Think about your own journey. Wherever we might have started, there was some desire inside that I can be a better person and I want to be a better person. This in technical language is called as Shubhecha. Shubha Ichcha means whatever I am right now, in terms of my discipline, in terms of calmness of my mind, ability to respond to situations. I am at one point and I want to be a better individual. And the first inspiration to come to Vedanta is sometimes life of saints. Whoever we might have seen, we might have appreciated that these things which I am striving for, I see in them. And their words will have more power. Right? So whenever we hear Puja Gurudev's life, whenever we read about Swami Vivekananda's life, all of that becomes an inspiration that if they could do it, we can at least try to walk the path. That is where many sadhakas will start on this spiritual journey. What is that? This inherent desire, Shubhecha, to be a better person. It expresses in different ways. It expresses as desire to keep sorrow away. Desire to be happy without too much of dependence. Expression is different, but that inherent desire is, can I be a better person every moment, every day? Not being able to live up to my conviction, that's a different problem. It is not that because I want to be a better person, I will become right the next day. But this person is somebody who keeps striving. Unlike Duryodhana, Duryodhana also faced this problem, that he knew what was right and he could not do it. And what does he tell Bhagavan Krishna? Janami dharmam, nachame pravrutti. I know what is dharma, but in that I cannot keep one step ahead. But I know what is adharma also. Janami adharmam, nachame nivrutti. I cannot take one step back from adharma. That is my situation. So please don't advise me. I am okay wherever I am. I will do what I want. On the other hand, you have Arjuna. Arjuna also has a doubt. Bhagwan nicely explains entire 6th chapter, meditation, sit straight, concentrate, and everything he said. And Arjuna comes and says, Bhagwan, you don't know my mind. It is pramati and balavad drudham. It tires me down. It is like a tornado inside. Very, very strong. But he doesn't say, your teaching is wrong. He says, tell me, how do I strive? Tell me the way. And Bhagwan very patiently guides him. Sometimes you wonder, why do you need 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita? So Bhagwan loves that student. He doesn't answer only one question. He gives all the background behind it. And then finally he will, without telling him that he has taught him, he will teach him. That is one sign of a good teacher. That you are enjoying, but there are so many other things that have already been taught in and through it. That is Bhagavan Krishna. Okay, so this is the desire of an individual to be good. Why do we say this? Because inside all of us, there is Antaryami Bhagwan sitting. Antaryami Bhagwan is seated right inside. He is the one who brings that Shubhecha also. And if it comes, it is nothing but natural. Right? The only thing which hides it is our layers of vasanas. The thicker the vasana layers, the thinner is his voice. Thinner the vasana layers, clearer is Bhagwan's voice, clearer is that guidance. So this desire has to be nurtured, nourished. First of all, acknowledged that it is there. And this is how an adhikari is built. Okay, so what I just mentioned is a different format of that adhikari. He has gone through a long journey. He has done different sadhanas. Sadhanas in terms of those which are done in a specific place and time, like japa, puja, sandhya vandanam, all of it he has done. And whatever roles Bhagwan has given him, he has divinized those roles. Means he does that role not for the sake of that role. He does that role to attain Bhagwan. Different roles as a parent. What is this karma called as? You can type it over here. I'll ask in between some questions. The duties that we do in and through our everyday routine. Good. Nitya karma. Like this, there were different types of karmas. Naimittika karma was there. Prayaschitta was there. But amidst all this, one thing he pays very close attention to, that is to remove out erroneous tendencies which might be there in his choices. What are those karmas? Kamya and Nishiddha karma. Those karmas which I really don't need to do, but we end up doing because of our own vasanas. One, it takes time away, drains our energy. And other karma is Nishiddha, which I should definitely not be doing. So Kamya Nishiddha Varjana Purassaram. First he drops that. Not easy, huh? But at least resolve is right. That if this is taking my time away, I don't need to do it. And it is not enjoined upon me. And each one of us will have to sit down and see what are those karmas for us. What is kamya for one person might not be kamya for another person. What is nishiddha for some person would not be nishiddha for another person. So we have to evaluate. All this we have seen in detail. Okay, so this was about adhikari. Under which topic are we seeing this? Anubandha chatushtaya. Anubandha chatushtaya, 4 parts. Out of that, adhikari is the first part. And then elaboration was done about sadhana chatushtaya also. What are the qualifications that we can have within, such that our mind can appreciate Vedanta and absorb Vedanta. And this is, you tell your kids sometimes, right? You aim for the highest. The one that is one notch below will already be taken care of. Right? They say even in college or exams and all, they say you aim to get whatever that grade you are telling them to get. They say you don't have to worry about whatever things are below that, everything is taken care of. Meaning what? If we can become sincere students of Vedanta, per whatever Vedanta is expecting us, our efficiency in transactional life is already taken care of in and through this sadhana chatushtaya. We don't have to get worried that if I become student of Vedanta, what will happen to my work? What will happen to my family life? All these points we discuss elaborately. Each quality is needed for us at every step. Titiksha for that matter, forbearance. You tell me family life, how much of titiksha we need? Right? How much of adjustments have to be done? Samadhanam. Being able to withdraw mind for some time and place it where I want. Right? All this sadhana chatushtaya, you should keep reflecting upon it. They are like a mirror. Again and again, keep looking. Whatever adjustments are needed, we should keep doing. Then came vishaya. Anubandha chatushtaya, second one was vishaya. First is adhikari, second is vishaya. Vishaya means, what is Vedanta really trying to tell us? We might have studied so much of Vedanta, so many texts we might have studied. What is the essential message Vedanta wants to give us? In simple words, Vedanta says, you are much greater than what you think yourself to be. Now, don't take this sentence literally. You say, I knew I was great. Other people don't know it. That is what I'm working on. Not in that way. My identity about myself, my definition about myself is mostly with the support of either body or mind or my abilities. If I can play harmonium well, then what do I call myself? I am a good harmonium player. I'm not. I'm just giving examples. These things, it is good to give our own examples. I am a good harmonium player. Now, harmonium is something different from me. My ability to play harmonium was not right from childhood. And it will go away also with some time. Right? All abilities for that matter. Sometimes great scientists find it difficult to add numbers. The point is, abilities of the mind also will go away at some point. So what am I defining myself with? What is our essential identity? That Vedanta says, our essential identity is pure consciousness, which is a substratum of this creation. Not only pure consciousness, that consciousness which is appearing as his entire creation, that consciousness I am. He said, this part is a little confusing to me. If I am this creation, then how come I am sitting here? I should feel like I am all pervading. So you see how quickly we switch to body. Body is sitting here. And Vedanta is again and again hammering that you are not this body. You are that consciousness in which this creation is appearing. So this is vishaya. And they're very precise in their vocabulary. They'll not elaborate right in the first go. They'll just mention this point. They say, I want to know more. Entire Vedantasara is for that only. So vishaya is Jiva Brahma Aikya. Okay? That this Jiva, which I think myself as finite, individual, limited, going through experiences, that is not who I am. My essential nature is pure consciousness. And my Bhagwan, whom I know as this entire creation, if I have done Shravanam, if I have thought about it, then his essential nature also is consciousness. And there are no two consciousnesses. That consciousness alone I am. This is the vishaya of Vedanta. Now, Sambandha is a third Anubandha chatushtaya. What is the relation with my study to this goal that I am seeking of oneness? Vedanta says you don't have to become one. You don't have to do anything different that one day you are going to merge. Jiva is going to merge with Brahma. Vedanta says you are already that consciousness. There is no merging needed. There is only knowing which is needed. There is no doing. There is only knowing. But be very careful here. If I want purity of mind, is it doing or is it knowing? It is doing. If I only know that I should do sadhana, if I only know that I should do japa, if I only know that my karma yoga, buddhi will give purity of mind, knowing alone is the first step. I have to have knowing plus doing. But when it comes to abiding in my nature as consciousness, Vedanta says, I am already that consciousness. So Sambandha is, these words will shift my attention to that consciousness. These words will remove ignorance about that consciousness. That is the Sambandha. So actually speaking, Vedanta doesn't give moksha. What does Vedanta do? It tells me that I am already liberated. As this pure consciousness, there is nothing which has gotten mixed up with this Chaitanya. One Mahatmaji would say, people keep asking me, how much time does it take for Jiva to merge with Brahma? And his answer was, how much time does it take for a pot to merge with clay? How much time? He said, there is no merging. It's only shifting attention from name and form to the substratum. Now, if I insist on destruction of pot to shift attention to clay, that means my understanding is erroneous. What is the error there? I say only when the pot name and form is destroyed, then only I will shift attention to clay. And what is the knowledge? That you just have to understand it and not insist on non-perception of that pot. Now apply this to creation. If this entire creation is consciousness, sometimes don't we insist that if I'm seeing name and form, how can all this be consciousness? It is just like saying, if I'm seeing the pot, how can I shift attention to clay? And Vedanta wants to say, consciousness is something that you will never see. Whatever you are seeing is mithya. Whatever I am seeing is different from consciousness. It's an appearance in consciousness. And this clarity I have to get through study. This clarity will not come through any other karma. It has to come only through clear knowledge of truth. What is the clarity? That even if a thing is perceived, it is not absolutely real. Even if consciousness is not seen, doesn't mean it is not there. Okay? So that clarity should come through study. That is a Sambandha. Every verse, every Upanishad we study, it will open up this knowledge for us. And that is what we have to strive. How many are done? Anubandha chatushtaya? 3. Adhikari, vishaya, Sambandha. In traditional Vedanta, they don't start with adhikari. They start with Sambandha. Because unless I know what am I striving, what is the point in going through all adhikari lakshana and everything? You see, just words will create that knowledge and remove ignorance. Okay. Last one was Prayojanam. Now, this Prayojanam is a very beautiful Prayojanam. What we are seeking, but we don't know where to find it. What are we seeking? Problem-free life. Atyantika dukkha nivrutti. That word Atyantika is also important. Atyantika means not something which is limited in space and limited in time. Means if I go to some place, then all my sorrows are gone. At certain times of the year, certain times of the day, I am without dukkham. But when I step out in the world, when I interact with people, everything comes back. So that is not Atyantika dukkha nivrutti. That is Naimittika dukkha nivrutti. Naimittika means conditional. But Vedanta says we are actually seeking for Atyantika dukkha nivrutti and Paramananda prapti. Now, Ananda also has a gradation, right? The supreme most is Paramananda. What is the gradation? There can be Ananda from Vishaya also. Although we feel what is wrong, right? Vishayananda is also gives us joy. But there are many other limitations which come, either in terms of time. No matter how wonderful that Vishaya is, at some point it is going to go away and also become irrelevant at some point. Right? Our own mind, we see whatever Vishaya we really like. If health is not good, that Vishaya doesn't give joy. Right? Food, something that you really enjoy. And that day, let us say you have cold or something, ice cream, for that matter. Now, Vishaya, if it was giving joy, then it is conditioned joy. So much of struggle is there. Then there are subtler forms of joy. Ananda also is subtler. This we have discussed. Without Vishaya also we can get joy. For example, music. Isn't it subtler than other bhoga that we do? Joy which we get from just chanting, parayana. It is subtler joy, right? So like this, the supreme most one, which is devoid of all dependence, is called as Paramananda. Whatever happens, let it happen. Whatever is there, let it be there. It says, I am abiding in my nature. I think I had shared this story, right? There was a king, who wanted something, some result he wanted. His son was there, prince. He wanted to get him married. And he was trying very hard. Kings, it's very, 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 very particular how and where they should go and which other king they should forge an alliance with and so on. Tried very hard, did not get it. Then somebody told him there is one saint on the outskirts of your kingdom. Go and talk to him. He will do something. Then he went and he prayed. He was Mauni Baba. He would not talk. So he wrote something in a chit, folded it, gave it to the king. He said, go away. Other people told him, you go away, everything will be okay. Just keep this chit with you. And he stayed for, continued pursuing that for 6 months. Nothing happened. 1 year, nothing happened. In fact, things were falling apart more. So again he went. He said, Babaji, you did last time you came and you told me this, you chit also you gave, I kept it very nicely, did whatever I had to, nothing worked. He said, wait. Another chit he wrote, folded it, gave it to him. And he went away. And within few months, whatever he wanted, he got. Prince got a very good match. King was also very happy. Everything was happy. Then one day, he came to know that this Babaji has gone to some other place. So then he said, oh, if we need something more, then what should we, where should we go? Where should we seek help? So this minister said, why don't you read what is there inside? Maybe he has written some secret that you can write. And he opens it very carefully, one fold by fold. What does he find? Raja ko Rani mile, Ananda ghan ko kya? Means let Raja get Rani. Let that prince get princess. What does this, Ananda Swarupa Brahma got to do with any of these things? This is a traditional example. Take it in the right context. What he meant there is, world is something that it keeps giving different anubhava. We expect something to be some way. Sometimes it is that way. Most of the times it is not. Is there a way to become independent of this world? This is one very important teaching that we can keep reflecting upon. That whenever different anubhava comes, different experiences come, and we plan so many things, that things will happen this way, this way, this way. And when it doesn't happen, our thing should be, what is Bhagavan trying to teach me? And most important lesson is, Paramananda Prapti is not by fixing the world. Paramananda Prapti is by fixing our vision. Ignorance we should remove about ourselves, about this world, that it is not only Nama Rupa, but it is Shuddha Chaitanya. And that Shuddha Chaitanya I am, in that we should abide. So this is the part of Prayojanam. Atyantika Dukkha Nivrutti and Paramananda Prapti. So first chapter we are recapping. The first part was Pramana. Second part was Anubandha chatushtaya. What was the third part? You can type it a little bit. What was the third part of first chapter? Guru-upasatti. Good. So under Guru-upasatti, the main thing which was pointed was that such a student who is an adhikari, everything that is mentioned under adhikari, the one who has all these qualities, everything, that student, how does he approach a teacher? The main quality is jijnasa. Jijnasa means this desire to know the truth and being ready to put forth effort to abide in the truth. That is the difference between the student of a text like Vedantasara and somebody who might take Vedanta as a subject in a university. So to that university student, teacher cannot say, live a disciplined life. Teacher cannot say, have Sadhana chatushtaya. Teacher cannot say, withdraw from kamya nishiddha karma. No happy hour in university. You can't say that. You say, I can do whatever I want. But over here, the main thing is, the student has this jijnasa, at the same time is ready to put forth effort. And the second aspect of the student is humility. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of thousands and thousands of people, for abiding in this true ananda, kaschid yatati, few people strive. Yatatam api siddhanam, out of those who are trying, many people have become siddhas. Very important word, Yatatam api siddhanam. He is not ordinary sadhaka. He has gone further, done all his sadhanas. He has become, Bhagavan calls him siddha. Yatatam api siddhanam. Kaschin mam vetti tattvata. Very few actually come to understand me in my true form, in my true essence. Out of thousands, very few strive. Out of those very few progress further and become good sadhakas. Siddhanam, we can keep it at this, good sadhakas. Even amongst those, not everybody reaches the goal. Very few people reach. Why is that? What became the obstacle that we could not reach that goal? So there Mahatmas say, it is this aspect of Sadhana chatushtaya, the humility part. Knowledge is not lacking. Knowledge is very clear. Everything is there. But our secular knowledge which we have gotten, instead of helping our spiritual journey, it starts interfering. Either in terms of pride, either in terms of trying to fit spiritual teaching into other context, whatever that is. Now we should think for ourselves, what are the obstacles that can come? These are few obstacles. So one, jijnasa should be there, and this humility that this is a very unique knowledge and I will do my best to study it. Okay. I wanted to recap both of these, but I don't think we'll have sufficient time. Let me just do a little more and then we'll conclude. So Guru-upasatti is the third part. Two qualities of the student. One is jijnasa, another is vinamrata, humility. And there are so many examples about Guru-upasatti. The best one, if you want to find, is in Chandogya 7th chapter. In Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter. The student of 7th chapter Chandogya is Naradji. Naradji goes to Sanat Kumaras, and Naradji lists all his different qualifications. And he says one line. He says, Bhagavan, I am only mantravit, not atmavit. Mantravideva asmi, nato atmavit. Meaning I have seen different types of goals in life. And I have done several things also to accomplish those goals, but they have not removed my incompleteness. Saha aham bhagavaha shochami. Means whatever agitations of the mind are there, incompleteness in the sense of going outside more and more, that has still not gone away. Can you teach me that supreme knowledge? And then Sanat Kumaras, they start with upasanas. Different upasanas are given. Prana upasana, nama upasana. Upasana, main thing is, whatever you are doing right now, divinize it first. Whatever you are seeing as name and form, have name and form plus Bhagavan. Vedanta will say plus consciousness, but name and form plus consciousness is Bhagavan only. So that upasana is given, and finally, main teaching is given. Bhuma Vidya. Knowledge of our infinitude, that is given. So this completes our first chapter. Okay, three main topics: Pramana, Anubandha chatushtaya, and Guru-upasatti. Then second chapter, I'll just give a very broad, outline. All of you can recap a little more. Next class also a little bit we will start, but then we'll continue from next portion. So now the teacher and student have met, right? Both of them have met, and teacher has to give this knowledge. Now the teacher cannot directly dismiss the experience of the student. If the student has come to the teacher saying that, what is this world? Why am I going through these experiences? Why is there incompleteness in me? Now teacher cannot directly say, don't you know everything is mithya? There is no jagat, there is no jiva, there is no experience. What are you talking about? So he has to have a technique of teaching. Technique where he is acknowledging the student, but bringing that student up. Not just keeping the student at the same level. And finally taking him to where he wants that student to be. Okay, this is the part of Adhyaropa. What is Adhyaropa? Vastuni avastu aropa. A technical definition is that. But if you want to simplify it, right now I am seeing world of names and forms. Right? In that name and form, I should first add consciousness. Why I should add it, how it got added, all of that is part of Adhyaropa. Means when I see Jagat, it should be Jagat plus Chaitanya. When I see this individual, it should be body plus consciousness. Don't negate body yet. Body is also there. Consciousness is also there. Then mind, mind plus consciousness. This plus part is called as Adhyaropa. Now within that, systematic definition is done of where did this creation come about. You see, most of the times, our attention goes only to gross world. And where did Vedanta start its creation from? Karanavastha, causal world. Then came subtle world. After that came this grossified world. So you see how important is Adhyaropa. If we don't pay attention to this, our attention is more or less on gross world. Subtle world, it never goes. What to talk about causal world? So Adhyaropa will systematically tell what is this creation. It will also tell where did this individual come from. All of that is systematically explained. So Vastu is pure consciousness. On that, Avastu is already superimposed. But our attention sometimes is not even on Vastu, it is only on that Avastu. We fail to appreciate that there is something called as consciousness. So Adhyaropa brings attention to both these parts. What is Avastu? That will be described. But most importantly, it will be said, this Avastu can never be independent. It is always with this Vastu. Vastuni avastu aropa. In this pure consciousness, this avastu means that which is not self. Other similar words are atma and anatma. Okay, vastu means atma, avastu means anatma. So this is how the second chapter begins. So I won't enter that part. We will, in the next session, we will just go over few high-level points of second chapter. Now what is going to come is a very interesting topic that is about Vishesha Adhyaropa. Thinking ourselves to be this body, world to be this, world to be real. Vedantasara Acharya says this is Samanya Adhyaropa. Means we don't have to think too much to arrive at this conclusion. But some people, even after thinking a lot, they have ended up with erroneous notions. So that is very beautifully elaborated and systematic thought development is there. Okay, how they have misunderstood Atma. Okay. So this session, we will have few minutes in the end for questions. So if you want to type it, you can type it there. If we get time, we'll cover it in the same session. If not, we'll do it in the next one. That also helps me tune the content if we need to change something or elaborate something more. It's a helpful feedback. Okay, but I look forward to seeing most of you with your videos on. Thanks to those who kept it on today. Very nice to see all of you. Hari Om. And those who are working on it. I know today was a surprise for many of you. You just joined and you didn't know you could turn your video on. So maybe next time I'm looking forward to it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.